And then hey, everyone's really liking this. We should just have it as a product.
Definitely go for that. But if you're doing it like you want to, it's a hobby that you want to turn into a business and you don't have a lot of time on hand, I would say start off with the workshop.
What made you want to start this?
We started as a home-based business, so we do operate from home.
See, that's the thing, right? Like everyone has a perception. This is when we market ourselves. We don't market ourselves as eggless, but I want you to make it just like this picture. And this is a picture and it did not turn out any way I liked it. Like it was horrible. They need to have passion. That's the only thing. Because if you're in a business, food related, the profit is in the future.
The one thing I have always kept at forefront is to never give up, because there will be hard and trying times. You're always going to get the fruit of it. So just keep going, do what you like, always have your goal in mind, and be ready to evolve.
Are you guys on a busy schedule today?
This weekend, yes. So every weekend, usually we're quite busy. So we just finished off delivering or preparing the orders yesterday. So they were picked up.
We try to keep our Sundays off and quiet, except if we have like weddings or events. So we usually try to finish our order pickups by Saturday or Sunday morning.
So you get orders throughout the week, and then you
We do. So sometimes they are like pickups or deliveries in the weekdays. A lot of the times, if it's Saturdays or Sundays, well, we try to have it ready if it's Sunday by Monday morning time, so they can pick up any time in the day, and we're ready for the next week.
And this is all at your house, or?
So yes, we started as a home-based business. So we do operate from home. We also have we rent the commercial kitchen, especially for larger orders, like large events that we participated in. For example, we participated in the Toronto Food and Drink Fest this year. So we rented the kitchen. But mainly we started from home, and we're looking to grow from there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it just a two-man business, or?
Well, not really. You could say
It's a family business, but we're the owners and we are the operators and they are the help.
Yeah, so we have our parents. They really help us. They have stuck with us from the start, so they are our stronger pillars. So like for the larger events, they're there to support us even after work. They're helping us create everything and pack everything. So it's not just two of us, for sure.
What made you want to start this? Like it's all a full 100% vegetarian.
Yeah, so it's 100% vegetarian dessert business or dessert company. So we try to get like people to eat the desserts that are like, eggless and stuff, but we didn't have that back in the day. So like 20 years ago when we first came to Canada, we didn't have any eggless desserts that we could find, and the one or two that we could find, they were not as good. They didn't taste that good, and they were just like one or two flavors. So that kind of like sparked the idea, but it really didn't like come to life until like a lot later in life, like 3 years ago, 2022. But yeah.
Wow. So 3 years ago, you guys started from home, and then slowly made it into commercial kitchens. And congrats. So it's just both of you guys, and then just probably your parents.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's what.
Moment, yes.
That's the whole team.
That's the thing.
Yes. So we are like slowly, we are growing. So we are hoping to grow more so that we can expand our team. But let's see in the near future. Yeah, we'll see that happen.
That's incredible. So because you couldn't find any option, or like was there a situation that happens like, I try to find these type of cakes, and I was like,
we're vegetarian. We don't eat eggs. So when we were kids, every time we went to the grocery store, there's all these desserts which everyone can have, but we cannot have. So we started to bake our own stuff. So we incorporated in 2022, but this has been something we've been doing since we were 8 years old. So we brought like cake mixes at home. We used to make it from scratch, and we just made stuff as hobbies. And at our temple, so we are Swaminarayan. So if you've heard of the BAPS Swaminarayan temple, every time there's an occasion, we would make cakes and desserts, and they offer in in front of God. So every time everyone saw our cakes, then sometimes they wanted to buy from us. That's how we got our first order. It never really was a business idea from the start, but since they wanted to buy from us, that's how we started selling. But it was always a hobby until we incorporated in 2022.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of name changes as well along the way, but then finally we stick to Yogi Delights at the end when we incorporated in 2022.
Wow. So you said that you went to, what is it, a temple? I'm guessing?
Yes, we go to our temple.
Okay, so it was a temple, and then they asked you for your order, or
So everyone that comes, like the community, so since they also don't eat eggs, then they see, okay, like you're making desserts, can we buy from you?
It's basically during the Diwali we have like New Year's Day, it's Untold, which is like basically a mountain of food that you present in front of God on the first day of the New Year's. So during those days, we use every Diwali we used to make cakes, different types of cakes, different shapes of cakes, and we used to take it to the temple. And we've been doing this since we were kids. So it was back in high school, like 2015, 2014, right after the Scarborough Mandir opened, which is on Birchmount. And we brought a couple cakes there during like other festivals in Diwali. And a couple people came and they tasted our carrot cake and they're like, oh, I really want to buy this from you. Can you make it for me? And I'm just like, yeah, I can make it. And she's like, I'm going to pay you for it. So that's where like we first started. And then we made like a couple cakes, but it was usually just through our temple and people like word of mouth, or like, oh, I ate this cake at the temple, so can you make one for me? And then we started our Instagram and we made I think I forget our original name, but it was
eggless cake. So our last name is Sony. It
Yeah.
was just a hobby, so we just called it Sony Eggless Cakes because at that moment we were just focusing on eggless or vegetarian desserts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it grew from there, and now we get orders not just from our temple but like our website, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that.
So it's not just limited to those that don't eat eggs, which is our goal. There's everyone who eat eggs, who maybe don't eat eggs, that order from us, and
Yeah, we get like large corporate orders as well. Like we've done a lot of cookies and stuff for UFT, and then some other big or like organizations and stuff. So that, and then just events. But like when we went to the Toronto Food and Drink Festival, this is a first-hand experience of us seeing people taste their desserts without knowing they're eggless and actually finding out, and them not believing it's eggless because they couldn't believe that you can actually have sweets that taste good with the flavors that we have without having eggs in them.
Yeah, when you guys say eggless, usually when I tried it, because I have a couple cousins that are allergic to egg, and I tried it, and like honestly, I'm not a really big fan of it.
Yeah.
Right, because it's not sweet, or there's always something there, like it's always missing something.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like everyone has a perception. This is why when we talk to someone or when we market ourselves, we don't market ourselves as eggless, because the perception is built in the last 15-20 years that eggless doesn't equal to tasteful. So our mottos, or like our slogan, is taste the difference. Without actually trying it, people think, oh, okay, it's not going to be good, and then when you already think about it like it's not going to be good, then it won't taste good either, even if it is good. And I've tasted some horrible eggless stuff and vegan stuff, and I can vouch that like I was also one person, like if I were to go outside, I wouldn't buy anything eggless. I would just like go home and make it myself because I was wasting my money. But after, doing so many experimentations on our recipes and like finding different ways to do it, I think, are nailing down eggless sweets and eggless desserts that taste as good, or if not better, than ones that have eggs in it.
So when you say without eggless, right, and then you create your own type of recipes, right? So is it like a lot of trial and error? So like,
I mean, yeah. So we look at like first of all, like we're not like pastry chefs. None of us have been to culinary school. So we don't like know the full food science background of baking and stuff. I love experimenting, and I take a couple recipes, I'll tweak it here and there, I'll change it up, and in those ways, and then like do a lot of research online and find, okay, I need this to substitute for this. What is the reason? Why do we use eggs? It's for leavening agents. It's not really eggs. There's a lot of different things that you can use for eggs, and people don't really know about that. But finding out the reasons why we use certain products like baking soda versus baking powder and all of that, I've been able to create a couple recipes that fit my need, and they're not like 100% my recipes because I've taken them off of like 5 different recipes and made it my own. So it's not just fully like my recipe, but like a couple of people helped me in the way.
But that's actually honestly incredible with that, because I thought like egg is a huge factor into like pastries,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
you guys substituting it and then also as well tasting it, like making it taste really well
Yeah.
is another challenge,
Yeah.
right? So when you're mixing all these different type of stuff, right? So how does it come out? Like how do you know like I want to put this on our menu?
Well, I feel like when we first started, it was like very basic flavors. Then as we got more into it, like our mom, she really inspired us into trying new and different flavors. So she was like, let's try ras malai, gulab jamun. So all these ethnic flavors. And so we just tried them out. We tested it. So we gave it to her colleagues, her and other people, and they really liked it. And then we just realized that it's more than those regular flavors. We want to also differentiate ourselves with what we offer. So all these unique flavors, like whether we can find in like different desserts or like just maybe like different ethnicities, we want to try and incorporate them. Or like very long ago, we tried to make like a tiramisu cake before it was like like very out there. Just like trying like different things to go. Like I feel like we discover along the way as well, like what pairs well together.
Yeah.
We did pistachio cake. It's one of our favorite and popular ones, like pistachio and chocolate. One customer ordered it and then we tried it, and that's how we found out that this really goes well together, right?
And this was way before the kanafa trend was trending. Like
Yes.
this is back
like a few years.
2021, like 2022, 2021, 2020, like COVID season. At this time, we were like still doing it as a hobby. It was like, oh, we're not like full-fledged in business because we were still in university at that time. So, and we tried out like different flavors, like experimenting with different things that we like outside of just cakes, and just putting them in a cake and seeing if it turns out good. And there's been many batch failures and many like waste of ingredients that we feel, and a lot of money down the drain, but it's helped us become better.
Never truly a waste though. So for example, there have been times we've had a lot of restless, like sleepless nights where we're just laughing because we're like so much out of sleep. We're trying to like work on this cake. If there's fondant dolls, we're just working on it at late night. Like we said, we were in school at the time. So we're just like making it, and it's just like chaotic but like fun. And then I remember
there was a time we made a batch of buttercream.
Yeah.
And it
cream
just
cheese frosting.
No, it was buttercream. It had buttercream and a little bit of cream cheese. It was just like a whole different type of frosting we're trying to make, and it just split. And that was like a whole like blocks of butter, so around 1 kilo of butter gone
Split
waste.
meaning like
So it became
made it?
crumbly.
okay.
So
Yeah.
we decided, we're like, okay, what do? We don't want to just waste it, and we decided let's
So I think we just
flour in it, and we can make
Yeah.
cookies.
So we just put flour, and then we put chocolate chips, and we just made chocolate chip cookies. And I think those were the best chocolate chip cookies we've had until that time. And then we were able to like work on the recipe and make it better. But it was a lot of money down the drain that we felt in the moment. But then we're like, a lot of other people tried it and they were like, no, these are amazing.
It's always improvising. Like for example, like we don't see like a lot of the scraps we have for cakes. We try to make use of every little thing we have. So we get a lot of cake scraps, especially when we do these big events. We have like a lot of them. So what we decide, we like my mom comes into this, okay? Like usually cake pops, there's like spears, and she's like, okay, just lay them out in a tray and cut them into squares. Make them squares, and like
we
just
like chocolate drizzle or decorations on it.
Yeah.
It's like the lazy cake pop square, but
it tastes really good.
Tastes better because you have a full like chocolate on it, and you get chocolate and cake in every bite. Whereas a regular one, you get it like in one bite, and then the other you might not get it.
Not as equal.
But it is what it is.
And we took those to our temple again several years. We never thought anything about it, but everyone really liked it, and they usually call them, because they look like brownies, they call them cake brownies or something. And then we're like, hey, everyone's really liking this. We should just have it as a product. So now we do have it as a product. So we do have the regular cake pops, and then we have the cake pop squares. So we feel like, yeah, like our mom is like a huge inspiration. She kind of helps us guide, as in like flavors and dessert options. And our parents are our first like quality tasters, both of them. Because my mom has a sweet tooth, and then my dad, he's also there. So we get like two opinions, and then also us as well.
Yeah, and my dad's picky. He's a very picky eater. So he does not like a lot of type of sweets or a lot of type of cakes. So if he likes it, that's a win for us. Because my mom will like, yeah, it's nice for most of the stuff. But my dad is like the hard to please person. So
Still give us the like true answer so we can improve.
and we have a lot of friends, so they will come and like taste it for us. We'll bring it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, this is good," or "No, this is not good." So,
Has there ever been anything that you put on the menu that you guys took off?
I don't know if there's anything we took off, but I do remember one time I made this butterscotch cake and it didn't turn out that great. So, like I used butterscotch, I think like chocolate chips and stuff to make
In
the
the cake.
filling. No, to make the filling. And it was just a little tough. So normally, like now, for example, if we were to do it, it's supposed to be more like
It's a
frosting
ganache, yeah.
consistency, whereas it was a little bit more tough, like toffee like. So I feel like that's something that went a little wrong at that time.
What's your biggest challenge of doing this? Doing this pastry business?
I feel like right now what we're facing is like we have so much and less space.
yeah,
Or do you have a lot of inventory, or do you have a lot of
like
clients?
a lot of equipment, because we don't just bake like 6-inch cakes or 8-inch cakes. Like we have pans from like a half sheet to like a quarter sheet to a 4-inch pan, and that's a lot of supplies, and not just one but like multiples of those. We have multiple tips, a lot of piping bags, sprinkles, like equipment to like decorate. And we've basically taken over our dining room, because we have our fridges, like more multiples in there as well, and then we have a regular like house fridge, but we basically taken over a lot of our house with our business. So the lack of space and the lack of counter space especially is something that's very difficult in the moment right now. Other than that, and it's just the time that we have to take out, because we both work full-time jobs and then other extracurricular activities. So just trying to like balance everything while still living a life is hard.
Yeah.
How do you guys balance it? How do you guys deal with this, or you
Oh,
just try to go through it?
Yeah.
I mean, before it was just like as it comes, we just did it, but now it's like more frequent. We're trying to make it more proper. So, especially if it's like the week of the order, like whenever we get an order, we try and brainstorm like what stuff is needed. We order stuff that we need to get immediately, but the week of, like, we try to make everything fresh. So it's not like we make it or freeze anything. So we'll just break down things like Didi, she'll do some of the stuff, I'll do some of the stuff. So we'll just try and make sure that before the day of the occasion we have it ready, because like she goes in person at times, I do as well. So it's usually like in the evening time where we'll like prepare all of the stuff. And like she mentioned, we use the same kit, like we use our kitchen, so we do it when everything's free and available, which sometimes leads into late nights. So that is something that we have to kind of compromise on. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we compromise a lot of sleep,
Yeah.
but it's getting us somewhere rather than not. And hopefully we can move out of this space and have a bigger space that's just dedicated for us in the near future. So
Yeah.
You were talking about your big commercial orders, right? So with your limited space, how do you guys do that?
Well, before we just used to do it from home.
yeah,
We rent the commercial kitchen. So for example, for the food and drink event, we rented the kitchen, so it allowed us to create stuff in bigger batches. That way it was a little efficient. Rather than, because we only have one oven at home, whereas the commercial kitchen has more, the mixers, all that stuff. So that allowed us to do it in larger batches. So that's a huge.
And then when you're finished cooking everything or like baking everything, then you bring it back home, or you can
Well,
leave it at the.
We store it, like for example, if it's cakes and stuff, like we can store like we have these tins we did for the Toronto Food and Drink Fest. So we don't decorate them on the spot. We just keep the cakes. We store them in a box and then we store them in the fridge. So we have our freezer and our fridge in the in our home, so we just store it there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes it much easier for you guys instead of keeping everything in just one spot.
Yeah, and like let's say cookies and stuff, a lot of the things don't need to be kept in the fridge. So for example, our sugar cookies, they can be kept outside in room temperature in an airtight container. So that's a good thing.
A lot of the baked goods, especially when they're not designed or have any like frosting or anything on it, as long as it's not like cream cheese or stuff, which needs to be in the fridge, like cakes, cookies and stuff, you can leave it overnight outside as long as they're wrapped and airtight for like a day or so. If sometimes longer, depending on like what the ingredients are inside. So like if it has some sort of fruit filling or any of that sort, we technically have to put it in the fridge because it's a hazard if it goes bad. And then you can't eat that or sell that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything's based at home other than your commercial kitchen that you use probably like once in a while, right? So let's say if I wanted to get something, right? Would I have to come to your place and grab it, or would you guys come to me, or how would that work?
We have an online presence. So we started off solely from Instagram. We also have our website. So we do have a lot of our customers either reach out through us on Instagram or if they have our personal number, because it's also on Google, they can message or email us. And that's how we usually reach out to them via our website or the messaging system. So we do have a form for them on our website if they do go through that, just to like if you have a custom order, then just to get all the details, or we can just ask them on the chat just to like confirm, because we do make sure that everyone's specifications are met. So we do.
And usually people like buy from the website. We have stuff that's readily available that we can usually turn around in 24 hours or to 48 hours. We have those on our website, and we do have like ordering timelines. So usually orders are placed by Wednesday at noon, and then you can pick up on Friday to Sunday. So usually we have the turnaround time, and it's a minimum of 48 hours. So they can order on the website. Like if you want to get something, like you want a cake, you can, order on the website. We have classics on there, and then anything other than classics that we currently don't have on our website, usually people reach out to us like, oh, I want a kanafa cake, can you make it? We'll tell them the price. They'll be like, yeah, okay. So we'll send them the invoice. They'll pay the invoice. We'll put them in a calendar. We'll make the cake. They'll pick up, or we have delivery options as well. So we have two different type of delivery options. So we have a shipping option, which is across the GTA, and then we have hands-on delivery that we do personally for like larger orders, like wedding cakes, a lot of other larger desserts and setups and stuff. We do them personally, and that price, there is a difference in the price, but they have the options of those two delivery, and then there's pickup available, so anyone can pick up. It's free.
For the delivery option, right? What if the cake like falls or some sort?
So
Like, what if that happens?
I mean, we make sure it's properly packed, and we give them the instructions, and there's a cake care card on the cake as well, on the box, and we tell them like where to place it in the car, how to place it, how to like, if you're going a long distance, like keep it at like, put the AC on basically, and we give them the instructions, and then once it's out of our hands, it's usually like the responsibility of whoever is taking care of it, and we do everything on our hands. Like we make sure it's fully like frozen, or not frozen, but like set and cold, so nothing can happen to it. It doesn't slip or anything, because I've seen horror videos of that, and it drives me nuts sometimes. But I've like, and when we're delivering it, we make sure like, we go with ample amount of time. We're not taking any sharp turns if it's especially a tiered cake or a wedding cake, because that just brings my stress meter up to like 200. So yeah.
But for shipping, like you mentioned, we partnered with specific companies that do cakes and desserts.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're specializing in bakery items. So
Yes.
Yeah, it took us 3 years to find them. So
Yeah, it's really hard, especially once we did find one of them. They don't do the weekends, and weekends are usually when people want their orders. So it was a little tough.
and then you had to book in advance, and then some of them, I think, one of the delivery partners we have, so they don't pick up cakes. They'll pick up any other desserts, like, but they won't pick up like actual big cakes from Ajax because we were outside of the like Toronto area, so we had to drive them to Scarborough and pick them up from Scarborough. So we have like a friend, we're like, hey, can we just drop it at your house? And they'll pick up from there. It's just like a lot of back and forth and making sure the logistics work out. They're also working on, expanding it and picking up from like outside of Toronto, and we're also working on it. So whoever gets there faster, basically.
Yeah, that's a lot of back and forth movement for just a cake. It's already going from the kitchen. I mean, from the kitchen, right? And then to your house, and then to your house to someone else's house, and someone else's house to the actual place.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
I bet your heart is always pounding till the cake gets to to the venue.
Like
No, until
tell
they
us,
send
is
us.
it good? Is it
Yeah.
bad? Until we get some feedback on it.
Yeah. Because even after like it leaves our hands, we're like, oh, is it good? Will they like it? Will they not like it?
Because everyone has different preferences. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like everyone has different things. We just want to make sure everyone's.
Yeah, especially with the sugar levels, because we've heard, like, oh, it was, some people say like I want a sweeter cake. Some people say I don't want a sweet cake. So we make sure to ask for the preferences. Is something that we have on our order form for our custom cakes, and we ask this if someone does ask us, send us a message on Instagram as well. Like, what's your sugar level preference? We are like mild, like 5 out of 3 stars, because
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 stars. So we want to like be in the middle. It's not overly sweet, but it's just the right balance. Some people like it less sweet, like diabetic friendly people and stuff like that. We do have options without sugar as well. And then we have people like, I want more sweet. Like I want it like as sweet as the stores outside. Like, if you buy the Betty Crocker mixes and stuff. And those are a sugar load. I like it sometimes, but not too much.
For these custom orders, right? Some of them will be like probably like some of the cakes you have never made before, right?
Yeah.
Like, how you have pistachio and chocolate. Like, how do you, when you guys are making it and you give it to them, how do you know if they're gonna like it or not? Do you guys do like a taste test or anything?
We make a little extra on the side and try it just so we know. And if we have a lot of time, like if we have 2-3 weeks on hand, we'll do a trial batch beforehand if it's a full flavor or something that we've never done before and we don't know what to expect from it. We will make sure we do a trial batch before we do something for the customer, because we want to make sure we give our 100% and not just like, we're just trying it for the first time. Yeah.
Have you ever got a customer that you're like, I wasn't a fan of the cake?
Yeah. And it's heartbreaking sometimes because we put everything into it, and it's harder to see when they don't reach out to us directly and then reach out to us to other platforms. And when we do respond back and apologize and see if there's anything we can do to fix it, and there's no response, it does make us think, okay, was it we don't know what to think at that point. We're like, okay, how do we fix it? What was the issue? How do we make it better? Especially if it's for stuff that we've done a million times over and over again and someone doesn't like it. We're just like, when we do this, when we taste the same thing, like this from the same batch, and it tastes the same, everything is proper, and not just us, but like we've asked other people that are non-biased, that don't really care to say, yeah, it's good or bad to us. And they say it's still fine, and it's still good as all the other batches we've done. It does make me question sometimes, like how do we fix it with the person? But if we don't have any response from them,
it's tough.
It's a dead end.
Yeah, which is why it's like about perspective. But that's why our number one is customer service.
Yeah.
So if anything does go wrong, we do try and make sure that they are satisfied at the end. So we do try and reach out if there are times. There's not always the goods. There's always some like.
It hasn't happened a lot.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's 1 or 2 times that's happened, but it's just one time that we've never really heard back, never got any response when we try to reach out, try to make it better, try to see what we can do. Maybe it was just another day for them, but for a small business like us, we want to make sure we are giving 100% quality every single time, not just 99% of the time. So
yeah, you want to improve to become the best cake out there. You want everyone to buy your cake.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, because that venue that got that cake is everyone's tasting it, and next time they have a party or event, they want to go to your place. It's like, yo, I want that cake again. So you're always trying to move the bar up every single time.
Yeah.
What's the craziest cake that you ever made?
Craziest cake.
Crazy.
Oh, we did the G-Wagon cake. Like, I don't know if that's the craziest, but that's one of the different ones we've done.
We did an igloo cake back when we first started making like fondant dolls and like a lot of sculptured cakes.
It was crazy for that time.
It was crazy for that time because we've never done it before. And we were making like a pond, we were making like a beaver and like a polar bear and like dolls that we've never made before. But over time, we got better at it. I don't feel like there's ever been like a crazy cake because every time we do a cake that's new, it's a crazy experience because we're learning from scratch for that specific cake.
But it's funny because the first time this came in, the G-Wagon or the car cake,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, because we like to take on challenges. A lot of the times we don't really say no to our customers unless we can't do it because we don't want to give something that's not what they want. But we have faith and trust in our abilities. So we took on this cake and it's like a cake surgery because like obviously you stack it, you have to carve the cake and all of that. So I was telling my sister, okay, we're not gonna do this again. And then another time someone came and I was
It
like,
was the same person actually.
no,
It was the same.
And then we did it again.
Yeah, and that person, they ordered. They're from Brampton. When they first came to us, they're like, I want to order a G-Wagon cake, but I want you to make it just like this picture, this color, this thing. And I've had a cake made from another baker before, and this is a picture, and it did not turn out any way I liked it. Like, it was horrible. Not the cake itself, but like the whole decorations and stuff. We're like, okay, that kind of like set us like on anxiety level like 150 because we're like, someone has done something like this before and they didn't like it, so it puts up at a second bar, like not just like step one. But we're like, no, we can do it. We'll do our 100%. I think we were up until like 2 or 3 a.m. during that cake and just like making sure everything was perfect. And they really liked it. And then I think the year after, for the same person's birthday, they came back again for their cake. I think it was last year. So yeah. And then I think we did a Mercedes cake this time.
Yeah, I don't know the brand, but we did do a couple of the cakes.
How big are the cakes? How big was it?
The card cake?
That was like
It's like a 9x13.
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty big.
That's a pretty big.
Yeah.
Realistic cake is what
Yeah,
you
it was
call it?
realistic. Yeah, it had like wipers. It had the tire marks.
I mean, I can show you one of them. I don't know if we posted the other one, but not saying that the other baker that they made it was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Compared to what they wanted, it was more cartoony. They wanted it more realistic. So we were a little nervous.
Yeah.
In that,
not discrediting the other baker at all. Like it was good, but it wasn't the way they wanted it, and I was kind of scared giving them the cake. Be like, I hope this is up to what you want. Because we did it exactly with the picture that they showed us, and the picture was like a real life
one of the cakes we made. This was the card cake.
Yeah, okay.
You can swipe. I think these are the details. So this is how it looked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a car, and
that looks really nice.
It has a number plate. It has the back, the lining, everything. And by the way, this wasn't just any chocolate vanilla. It was a rasmalai cake.
Yeah.
Which is actually it's harder to be more stable because for rasmalai we prefer to use whipped cream in between. So we did the outside in buttercream and then obviously coat it with fondant. But since the inside we do rasmalai, and we add whipped cream plus rasmalai chunks. And so it's a little tough when we want to carve this cake and then make it like in a car shape. So that's why we were a little bit more hesitant, but like it turned out. And we were happy. They were happy with it. So
like we weren't hesitant like to them, but we were like internally we were like panicking.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully, cross our fingers
that it goes well.
Yeah.
But that was one of the cases. Yeah.
So when it comes to the rasmalai, wasn't it kind of like a watery or?
No, so we make our rasmalais at home from scratch because I don't like outside rasmalais because they give me a weird taste sometimes, and two, it's a little too much sugar in it. So we try to make them to the preference of their sugar levels, and we make it on hand, and we make sure when we're doing the chunks, we only leave a little bit of milk in it, so it's soaking and there's flavor in there, but it's not like gonna run out and ooze on the cake. It's like a perfect balance. It's a science, I feel.
Yeah, it's chemistry. Yeah, to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually when rasamalai is just very watery, and then when you're trying to implement that with cake, like
Yeah.
kind of watery, but then you guys killed it on that G wagon.
I
So
mean, so if I look back, so the first ever cake we sold, and so when we started baking and selling cakes, we just did it for a hobby. So we used the cake mixes, and so we sold that, but we didn't do any simple syrup. Now, simple syrup terminology means like you have water and sugar, and you just syrup it on the cake so it's not dry. And we didn't do that. So that was our first feedback. And ever since we've been using simple syrup, then we started using like making cakes from scratch. And we've been doing that. And we just, like when we do different flavors like strawberry or rasmalai and stuff, we also incorporate the flavor within the cake. So it's not just like vanilla with filling flavor and then vanilla cake. It's going to be the cake has a flavor. That's also something we try and do as well.
Yeah, and like for like flavored cakes, we would make sure, like as she said, it's not gonna be simple syrup. Like it's gonna be like for rasmalai, it's gonna have the rasmalai milk in it, instead of it. So
So you get the full flavor.
and like a lot of people think, oh, why are you putting simple syrup in a cake? Oh, it's not moist enough. It's dry, but the actual science behind it is to add back any moisture that it lost in the cooling process, and to keep it moist throughout the whole thing. Because you might take a cake, you might, day one, and you might eat it day 2 and 3, put it in the fridge for 5 and 6, and then eat it on day 7. You want it to taste the same on day 1 versus day 7. And that's a lot of there's a lot of, in the cake community, there's a lot of back and forth. Oh, should I use it? Should I not use it? I don't use it. I like to use it. But it's each to their own. And a lot of people find it works for them and their customers enjoy it. A lot of people are like, nah, my cakes don't need it. And it's each to their own. So
wow, there's so much stuff that's going to bakery.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of like simple. You just follow the cake mix. You put it in the pot, put it in the oven. You just wait, and then and then cut it up.
Yeah.
And then I did not know there was all this science.
There's a lot. Sometimes
Yeah.
we make the same thing, same way, and it just doesn't go right. And we will have to either improvise or do it again. But we want to make sure that whatever goes out of our home is our quality. It stays par or better. So we do try and make sure of that.
Yeah, I think we've stopped using cake mixes a long time
A
back.
long time ago.
Oh, I don't remember the last time we used it. I've learned a lot from them. A lot of things that I don't want to use is like the chemicals that they use in cake mixes they need for preservation. But we found recipes that we've improvised and made our own that work way better for us, hence leaving behind the cake mix world, even though it is cheaper for us to use a cake mix versus making from scratch. Like the ingredients that we use from scratch might cost us maybe 3 times, 2 times, 5 times more than a cake mix, but it tastes better and the quality is better. So yeah, it's but I'm like, no shame for anyone that uses cake mixes, because that's how we started and that's how we learned. So yeah.
Honestly, that's probably the easiest for me. If I do the science that you guys, probably burn the kitchen down.
Which is maybe like in the future, like we have different like ideas. So we'll probably be rolling stuff out one at a time. Like recently this year we started doing events and workshops of our own. So we're slowly growing and taking on more of this space and kind of differentiating our services and products. So we'll be doing more of other stuff soon as well.
Let's say someone's watching right now and wants to get into become doing all these pastry stuff. How would they begin? How would they start? Because if they want to get into a business, like what you guys
mean, there's different ways. We both are not like trained, like we didn't go to school for it, but we learned from watching as we learned from doing. A lot of it was from doing, then less from watching, but we are self-taught bakers. A lot of people can start off if you want to do like courses. There's a lot of them. We offer workshops. So that's something we're actually working on right now, creating a workshop from scratch, from 0 to 100, how to become a baker and how to become better, basically, and how to make your sweets taste like actual desserts that can be like, sold and not like just, regular home baked goods. So yeah, there's like a lot of ways. You can also go to culinary school and go to pastry school. It is expensive. I looked into it because I'm like, I should go, but I don't have time for that. So
I feel like workshops for sure, like here and there. It's like leisure fun. You also get to learn, and if you're really serious about it, like, for example, us or others, they offer workshops like from the level 1 to like the pro level, so you can learn as you go. And sometimes it's not just like 1 day workshop; it's like multiple classes from then. So you're learning the basics to the greater levels, and I think that's a great way to like actually learn theoretically and do it practically. But like the other way is from just watching and doing it at home, which just differs on how much time or what someone wants to do.
Yeah. And then like if you're trying to find, because for us, it was mainly changing recipes, making them our own, using different ingredients that are not in traditional bakery recipes. It's a lot of testing and trial and figuring out what type of substitute, how much of it, how to use it. Because even today, like I'll use it differently and it'll change the whole batch. So it's very precise timing, precise measurements, temperature, all of that. And it takes time and you're gonna like make a lot of it to learn, but I feel like just doing it or going to a workshop is the best way to start instead of going to a full-on pastry school, unless that's something you want to do for the rest of your life and you're like, I'm just gonna do this, I'm gonna work in a Michelin star restaurant or a bakery and I want to like that's all I want to do. Definitely go for that. But if you're doing it like you want to it's a hobby that you want to turn into a business and you don't have a lot of time on hand, I would say start off with the workshops. I've personally I would want to go to a workshop of learning how to make gum paste flowers. I would try it at home and myself and do it as well, but I would want to see how a professional does it. I've seen a lot of videos and I learn from them, but I do want to like maybe just go to one and see and like learn from their experience, because a baker has experience that you might not have, and the best thing about baking is you learn from experience rather than just doing it. So yeah.
So just basically just take the action or try your best and just try doing it on your own.
Even like start from cake mixes. Like our mom is the one again who like she would make birthday cakes for us, which is where we like thought, okay, we can make our own cake. So just start with cake mixes and like for design purposes, right?
Yeah.
It also tastes good. It's not like it doesn't taste good. There are also some structural differences. Yeah. So try off with that. Design.
I just say start somewhere, like, and whatever you're trying to like become better at, like just hone into that skill and just do more of it until you get to where you want to be. I don't think there's anything else you can do than just trying and just putting in the effort, because
more practical thing than like theory.
Yeah, it's you can't just think about it and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the pastry industry, right, like making cakes and like people could get in, but to stay running is pretty difficult, right? So for one person to want to get into this business, like what do they have to make themselves different from other cake places out there?
They need to have passion. That's the only thing. Because if you're in a business that's food related or dessert related, the profit is there in the future. When you start off, you're not in profit at all. Like there's no profit. Like you're putting more time and effort in and ingredients, especially if you're doing quality and all of that, is you're putting in that efforts and all of that. It will take maybe 5 years, 2 years, 10 years. I've seen people that have done this for 20 years and now they're getting the recognition. But if you don't if you're doing it just for the money, I don't think it's the right business to go into. There's a lot of other things you can do to make money for it, but baking is something you need passion for and the skill which you can learn. So
yeah. And then also like just like kind of having like a differentiating factor. Someone can get the same thing from somewhere else, which just might be cheaper. Like a lot of the times, especially in the economy today, people go for what's more affordable or easy to get. So just having something that's convenient, that tastes good, and like maybe a little different. Like everyone these days, they want to try different places. Like personally, I like to eat food. I want to try different restaurants that have different things. Yeah, this one makes it good, but I just want to try different. So like just having like different options, having a versatile menu and services you offer. So I feel like that also plays a huge role.
Yeah. And maybe like having options that are more restrictions friendly, because a lot of people are getting more allergies or having lifestyle changes, and they're restricting certain type of foods from their diet, and actually putting yourself out there and serving that can make you a bigger hit than others and make you different. But at the end of the day, you got to put in the time and effort to do all of that and the research. And it goes back to passion. Like if I don't have the passion for it, I can quit this and do another business, and I can maybe make that 20 times faster or successful in like maybe a year or 2 years or 3 years, and I make like 2-3 thousand or 200, like a couple more $1 million in the starting if I were to do something else. But I have a passion for baking and actually feeding people sweets that are tasteful. I use the word tasteful because it's not just sweets for me. It's like something I've created and curated to what I've understood and liked, and a lot of things that I've not been able to get in my childhood, because that's when you usually have the most sweets. So yeah.
At the earliest stages when you were starting off, right? What was the biggest challenge you guys faced?
Getting out there beyond our Mender community, that was one thing. Slowly happened gradually, because of word of mouth and like just Instagram, which was our main platform at the time. But yeah, at that time, because we used to mainly get orders from our temple, but that's the thing, we didn't want to just restrict it to that. So I feel like that was one of the things.
Yeah, and I think growing out of cake boxes was another hard thing, because it took a lot of recipe hunting, a lot of recipe testing, changing, manipulations, and all of that to figure out the best recipe that we can actually sell to people from making cakes from them. Because we've had so many misses on vanilla cake. That's a basic cake recipe, but there's if something doesn't doesn't taste good, it's not fluffy enough, it's not soft enough, it's not sturdy enough. But yeah, I think recipe testing from cake boxes to scratch was another harder step that we had to cross, which I'm thankful we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that mountain. Once you climb it, now it's the next challenge.
Yeah.
That's incredible. When you guys are working, how you guys said you have extracurriculars, another job and this, right? What keeps you going?
Again, like Didi mentioned, it's like our passion. It's our baby that we started from when we were younger, and it's like our goal, our mission, and our vision is still the same, or it's maybe like just evolved into something bigger and better. And we know that we want to bring this out and reach as many people as we want. So we just try to keep that at the forefront. Like, why are we doing this? It's not solely to make money. It's because we want everyone to try something. We want a dessert for everyone to have that tastes good. And that's why we just keep on going, and we're reaching more and more people. We're reaching out to different communities. And so, for example, when we did like different dessert tables and events this year, we did various Eid bazaars, and we did the Toronto Food and Drink Fest, which were two different communities, different people. And we saw that we actually stood out compared to, like, there were other dessert vendors as well. So we did notice that we did stood out, and our product stood out, and that everyone does like it. Even though they eat eggs or they are not vegan, they like our products, and they didn't know. So it just kind of motivates us when we practically see everyone and their reactions, that hey, we're actually doing good, and we're trying to innovate as we go, because we can't stick to the one thing. So just evolving as well, that just kind of helps us stay grounded.
And it's just like seeing the smiles and the happiness on people's faces. We're like, oh yeah, it looks like a good cake. It looks excellent, but it actually tastes excellent. You can't, sometimes, like, I've been to places that are like food wise, like restaurants. It looks amazing, but it doesn't taste amazing. Or it looks like but it tastes amazing. But mixing the two is another skill set, and actually getting to that level, I think that's something also pushes us to become better and become more perfect in our passion for baking desserts and cakes.
also like because Didi mentioned, we watched a lot of YouTube videos and like just like for leisure, for fun, like decorating, it was kind of like our relaxation. But not only do we watch it for leisure, we learn from it. Like, how are we using the skill, like to make it more like smooth and all of that stuff. We also watch like our other fellow bakers that do this, and we become inspired because maybe they're doing something like one step ahead of us, and we become inspired. Like, okay, we want to be able to do this, and then we think, okay, no, I think we're good. Like our pricing is worth what we are putting into this. Which is another struggle. Like at times,
it's a whole nother conversation, I feel, because pricing is a factor that I can get a $20 cake from Walmart or $30 cake from Walmart. And if I'm charging, X times more than that, people will be like, why? But they don't understand the ingredients, the quality, the skill, the time. Walmart cakes usually come frozen, or they're like made in a mass production, and we make them, make it for you, curated for you with your needs in mind, right? So there is a difference, and it's just the same thing as, getting a pizza from, the store and heating it up at home versus getting it from like, a top class, Italian restaurant that makes it from scratch, gets their dough from Italy or whatever, right? So the difference in the perception is also there, but this difference in quality is a lot of people can't grasp it until they try it. So yeah.
When you were talking about the food, when you were at, what was it, the Toronto Food Festival?
Yeah.
Right, when you were at the festival and you guys were, everyone was eating your food and you're like, you guys were excited because you guys were happy. Was there ever a emotional moment with you and a customer about a product that you gave them, like about a cake or something, that made you be like, wow, like I want to keep seeing this all the time? I don't know, maybe it could be a wedding, a birthday, or it could be anything.
Is usually during the times when people find when they have restrictions and they come to us. And because especially during the Toronto Food and Drink Festival, a lot of people used to come to our table and be like, what's the difference? Because we have a banner saying our name, Yogi Delights, and taste the difference. So like, what's the difference? And I'm like, try it and then we can tell you, right? And a lot of people will be like, hey, do you have anything that's gluten-free? Or do you have anything that's vegan? We're like, yeah, we do. We have like 2 options. Even though like we can make everything with those restrictions, we took a couple options that were for them, and we kept everything else our normal standard. But to see the people look, oh, I actually have something I can try, because when I go to like places like these, like markets and stuff, and I'm like, I have to walk around like 5 million times, and then I'll find one place where I can have one small thing, or it's usually like a drink I can have. And it does demotivate me sometimes to go to these places. So actually being there for the people that need these type of restrictions and they need that type of food, and you being there to support them and have it for them, I think that's just emotional in a way, because it relates to how I feel when I'm in their situation. So yeah.
100%. Like one-on-one, I had that experience where there was another vendor, and so she was walking by and I was just talking to everyone, and she's like, I don't think I can have anything. And I said, why? What do you not have? And she said that she is gluten-free, and I said, we do have something. So it just like sparked that conversation, and like, like made me feel like we do have something for you. And she also did not feel left out, and she was really happy. So just like creates a whole community.
Wow. Just left speechless, because honestly, I could eat everything, but I have a few cousins that can't eat certain things. Like some of them are like very, very severe. And creating product that also tastes like really, really good. It's it makes me want to eat this instead of like the actual cake at like Walmart or anything. Right? Because this tastes much better than all the other.
It doesn't make anyone feel left out. Like, oh, we got these, like goodies for you that you can have, but we're gonna enjoy this nice looking cake.
And we've been through a lot of that, like in work events, in school, when we were kids, in life in general. We see a lot of that, like, hey, we have this amazing cake that everyone's gonna cut and eat. We have like 2 small cupcakes, or like, a smaller other type of dessert that might just be a thick dessert that doesn't usually contain eggs, and we'll have something different, and it does kind of make you feel left out. So us being here and like, you know, actually putting out desserts that you can enjoy without actually having the restriction of like, you know, getting something different for someone else, especially in like the world right now where we live with a lot of different type of allergies and stuff. Like I developed allergies at the age of 22 or 23, and it was right after COVID, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, these are my two favorite things. Even though those two allergies are like not something I eat on a day-to-day basis, I used to eat them on a day-to-day basis. And it's a life-changing factor because a lot of food that you get outside contains it. Like cereals contain it. It's hard. I can't really eat cereal from outside. So I look into the ingredients, and it just makes it harder. So I feel like just being there for them, I feel like it's just something that we want to do. And many times we're like, oh no, like, you know, I don't know if you thought about this, but many times I'm like, you know, no one's gonna miss us if we do stop, or if like, you know, if there's some like we take a gap or something, right? But then I think about all those people that we've actually served and like, you know, made a community with and become like a family, and like, yeah, they are gonna miss us. They're gonna miss our products because they won't be able to get that elsewhere. If they do, it won't be the same quality. So yeah, keeps us going.
All right, so I end off the podcast with one question.
Yeah.
So let's say nobody watched this podcast and skips to this very last question. What EndNote advice or anything you would want to say to anyone that's watching? It could be related to baking. It could be related to real life.
I mean, the one thing I have always kept at forefront is to never give up, because there will be hard and trying times. But you're always gonna get the fruit of it. So just keep going, do what you like. But like always have your goal in mind and be ready to evolve, because right now and like the generations as they move forward, it's really important to innovate and evolve. So that's something that we also keep at the forefront. So in your life, in your business, I think those are really two big important things.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned along the way, like working and having the business, is as long as you have a passion for what you're doing, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, you're gonna love doing it. And I think that's one thing I want to like leave off with, is just make sure you have a passion. If not, your ear is not gonna last for long. Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you
being a
for
part of the
having us.
podcast.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know if we said our names, but I'm Yashvi
Sajin.
from Yogi Delights.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We actually wanted you to try these. If you want to try them before we end.
Okay, sure. I'll
Yeah,
try
so we have a few different things. I can explain it and hand it over to you.
Yeah.
We have these are cake tins. So we have our chocolate with vanilla, buttercream, and strawberry sauce.
Okay.
Fun fact is everything's homemade, even the strawberry sauce. And then we have our chocolate hazelnut. So this is chocolate with vanilla and chocolate sauce and hazelnuts. And I think you said no allergies. So
No allergies at all.
And this is a kunafa cake. So I don't know if
Oh
you've
my
tried
god, you guys bought me
kunafa,
so. You guys.
but you guys can try. This is our kunafa pastry. Those are our cake tins.
Okay, let me put.
So we have some spoons in there so you can try and tell us what your verdict is.
And they look really good.
Thank you.
I mean, is it your first time trying eggless stuff, or you don't?
I've tried eggless stuff, but then I'll be like,
It's not a good perception.
the only eggless thing that I really like was my aunt made a cheesecake,
Okay.
a strawberry cheesecake,
Yeah.
right? Because her daughter can't eat egg, so she ate that.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was really good.
Okay.
I think that was the only one that.
Okay, we're here to change your perception for cakes.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably open from the other side. It should work.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And what was this again? Sorry.
That's the chocolate hazelnut. So chocolate cake, vanilla buttercream, chocolate sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks so good. I don't even want to. I don't want to break it.
And give us an honest review if it is good or not.
No, I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Yes. It is our standard level of sweetness. It's not going to be overly sweet.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I would not know that's.
Eggless?
Yeah, I would not know that was eggless.
Okay.
I'm not even lying. Like I'm serious.
Well,
Like you'll know by my face. Like
mhm.
that's really good.
Thank you.
And then this one was
That's the strawberry.
Yeah.
Like chocolate cake with strawberries.
Okay, let's try this.
Make sure you got the strawberry sauce. It'll taste nice.
Yes. I'm not a big strawberry fan. Okay.
Oh,
No
okay,
strawberry.
Let's see.
Oh, so nice and smooth. But that's really good as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not lying. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, but like that's really good.
Thank you. See, this is like when people try our products and they say it's good or like they enjoy it, it makes us feel satisfied
Yeah.
that we did something good for them.
I mean, my anxiety level was at a 200 before you tried it, so
Really?
yeah, because you said you don't like eggless
Strawberry
desserts
or-
and strawberry. So
No, because all the one that I
Yeah.
had wasn't.
It's
Honestly,
just
like-
perception,
I would never guess that there was no egg in there.
right?
I mean, that's one thing you won't find anywhere on our website. I mean, I think you might find it if you go read into it. You won't find anywhere on our pages or anything that we say eggless because the perception is so strong and set into stone. People don't want to try it.
100%. I got to look at. Even I was one.
You want to
Right?
try that one?
Oh, that's kunafa. Yeah. I mean, when you try, maybe I can just say one thing is recently, so we made cheesecakes, and my mom, she took it for her colleague who ordered, and she had it the first day, and then she had it like maybe a week or two after, and she said, "Hey, I had it the first day, I had it the second day, and then I had it like 2 weeks later, and it tastes the same." So a lot of our products, because we don't use preservatives, we use quality ingredients, they stay like tasting the same or like equivalent, like in good tasting for a long time, and the shelf life is good too because preservatives are not there, but as long as it's stored correctly you can get the same flavor and it's good lasting.
That's amazing because usually after like a few days, it doesn't
It's
taste the
gone,
same.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we sometimes have stuff in our fridge for like
Mhm.
2 months because we forget about it. Oh yeah,
It
there's
has
a
a
plastic
wrapping 'cause
wrapper,
it's
so you can
pastry.
take it off. Yeah,
Okay. So I just need to take it off.
yeah, you can just peel it off. Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah.
It's just,
This is kunafa. Have you tried kunafa?
I think so. Is that the
The
So
viral
Dubai
the Dubai chocolate?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, the first time we tried it, it did not. Have
We
a good
didn't like the
experience.
Dubai chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Dubai chocolate.
Okay.
So I'm a very picky guy too.
Yes.
That's all right.
Don't worry, I'm a very picky person as well. So I think you got the top part, but the bottom last layer is the kanafa filling.
Mhm.
And we make it everything like handmade, so like it's not like store bought or anything.
The
So I make the
cream and
pistachio cream and everything at home. So when we first tried the kanafa chocolate, it was not good at all. Like we were not able to.
I was hesitant to try the cake we made ourselves after because I'm like, I don't know how kunafa tastes.
Yeah.
It tastes good. I think the chocolate was just stale from
Man,
outside.
this tastes really good.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you.
this tastes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All three of them. These two are cakes, and this is also
It's a
cake is-
pastry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're all cakes,
okay.
just different
Yes.
forms.
Man, for sure you'll get an order from me.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much
You're
for being a
welcome.
part of the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having
We
us.
really enjoyed.